Judy or Alice or Mike or whoever you are, you have control over this. You have control over this food. As good as it tastes, you can stop this right now. Do you want to keep eating? And then you ask yourself that question, have I had enough?
Hi, welcome to the Judy Terrell Show, where I explore topics intended to optimize every body 50, 60, 70, and above.
Hi, everybody. Have you ever heard yourself say, I know what to do to control my eating, I am trying to lose weight, and yet I can't get myself to follow it. I keep falling off. I know what to do, I just have to get myself to do it. How often have you heard yourself say that? Well, if you have heard yourself say that for multiple times, then you are in the right place. Welcome, everybody. I am health coach Judy Terrell. I am a nationally board certified health coach. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, where I have focused in on the behavior of addiction. And I have 40 plus years in the weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and health coaching field. And I see clients day after day where I have actually literally designed the eating program for them, individualized it. I have methods to do that here in my studio. And yet they'll say to me after about 3 or 4 weeks, I start off really strong, but then, I'm falling off the plan. I know what to do. I just have to get myself to do it. And they think by just saying that, I'm going to leave your office and I'm going to get myself to do it. And I always say back to them, listen, knowing what to do is half the battle. You have to have the plan that's going to be right for you, that's designed for you, that, is healthy for you. But knowing that plan and then successfully, continuously executing it is a completely different skill set. You know what to do, but now if you notice you're falling off, then you have to get some skills as to how to keep yourself on the plan, okay? This is episode number 2 in a 6-part series that I'm putting together for the 6 top things the behavior patterns that leads people to fall off their plan, and then specifically addressing each of the 6 so that you have skills to know what to do about it. All right. In this episode, I am addressing compulsive eating. All right. Compulsive eating has a very specific manner about it. Okay. You're started, and it could be compulsive eating of food on your plan, or it can be compulsive eating of food that is not on your plan, or things that you think you shouldn't eat. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's the compulsivity that I'm addressing in this video. All right. So how it looks is this: you start eating something and it tastes really good. And you know that there's a certain amount that you want to stay to, but yet you notice that you're going back and you're having another bite, and then you're having another bite, and then your brain goes, oh my gosh, I really need to stop this. And then you start to get a little bit anxious about it, and then you almost notice that you start to almost eat faster now. It's okay, just a little bit more. Oh my God, this is so good. And then another part of your brain is going, please stop, you need to stop. And then you get nervous about that and anxious about that, and now it's like, oh my God, it's got control over me. I can't stop. And then what will usually lead to the end of that is either you run out of the food, somebody walks in on you and you're embarrassed and that stops you, or number 3, you are now physically so uncomfortable that you have to stop. You can't keep doing it. And in all 3 of those variations, you are now physically and psychologically unwell. You're so upset with yourself, you physically don't feel good, and that is compulsive. It's like you start and you can't get yourself to stop. It's a compulsive thing, all right? This is one that I have had to wrestle with myself throughout my whole life, so I'm very intimately aware of it, but it is also a very common one for the people that come and work with me. So this is why it's in my top 6. All right, so now identifying it, you could have told me probably if I really asked you and sleuthed out, well, tell me about the eating and how do you fall off the plan and what happens? You probably would, this is not outside your knowledge if you are a compulsive eater, but how to interrupt it and how to manage it is elusive, right? And every time you do it, you're like, this time I'm not going to do it, and then it happens again. It's very frustrating and it's exhausting, to be honest. So here's what we have to do to interrupt compulsive eating. All right, number 1 is Your Second 50.life is my virtual platform that is designed for both men and women over 50 and 60, 70, and 80. And it includes pre-recorded video information on exercise and how to do it, whether you're fit and in good health, or if you have bad knees, bad shoulders, a bad back, whatever. It includes information on how to eat for weight management and how to eat for health management. It includes information on the psychology of aging and what do we need to do in our heads. Because let's face it, this aging thing is not for the faint of heart. So your Second 50.life is a virtual platform of resources that you can access at your own leisure, but it also includes 2 times a month live video coaching with me so that you can bring your own individual questions and get individual coaching as well as have access to all the information on the pre-recorded videos. So please check it out because we're all in this together. And we got this. There's a neural pathway. Everything, the words that I just described to you that goes on in your brain, those are now patterned in every time a compulsive eating episode begins. And so you're aware of it. You can hear it going on, but it's like dominoes when you hit the one and they all go down. That thought pattern is going to run itself until it runs out, and it's going to run the same way that it did last time and the time before that, because it's not hardwired in, but there's a neural pathway that's got so many repetitions, not just the behavior, everybody, this is important, but what you're saying to yourself as you're doing the behavior. It fuels it to keep going. The more upset you get about it, the more anxious you're getting about it, the more you're screaming in your head, stop, stop. That's all part of the auto pattern that's been in the brain now that we have to interrupt. All right. So now here's how we interrupt it. Number one is when you notice it's happening, as soon as you can notice it's happening, you have to now say your name, your own name, and you need to say it out loud. So if I notice this happening and I'm eating something, I will say, Judy. Now, if you're not around people and you're maybe in a restaurant or whatever, you might not be able to say it out loud. It will have more power if you say it out loud, but just say it in your own brain. So I would say, Judy. Because now you're interrupting the patterns of all those other thoughts, those anxious thoughts, and you're getting your own attention. Because we respond to our own name, even if it's us who's saying it, okay? So now I've got my attention, you've got your attention, and then you say, and this is important, Judy, you have control over this food. Because that is a new input into the nervous system, and that's the one we have to start to get more repetitions behind. Our brains have what's called neuroplasticity. What that means is that no matter how old you are, you can establish a new brain pattern, a new thinking pattern. It takes bushwhacking, a new path in your own brain. It takes repetition. 1 or 2 times is not enough. You have to interrupt it and you have to put the new one in and the new one in and the new one in. But after you get enough times, it will start to be, that's your autopilot. So we're trying to pattern interrupt the one that's already conditioned into your brain about compulsive eating and the upset and the anxiety and the frustration. And we're saying, Judy or Alice or Mike or whoever you are, you have control over this. You have control over this food. As good as it tastes, you can stop this right now. Do you want to keep eating? And then you ask yourself that question, have I had enough? Why am I continue to go eating, right? Do I want to keep eating? I can stop this. I have control over this. And that new neural pathway, and please, mark my words, don't think you're going to do it once or twice, because I have clients who'll say, well, I did it a couple times, and yes, it did work, but then it happened again. Well, of course it's going to. You have to take this on like a project, and you have to say to yourself, I tell people, give yourself 4 weeks, a month of trying the same behavior. Judy, you have control over this food right now. Do you want to keep eating? Right? And you say that over and over for a month, you've kind of bushwhacked and you've got a bit of a trail in your brain that has a chance of running against the 4-lane highway of the old thinking, because there's so many repetitions behind that one. All right. So again, interrupting compulsive eating is going to take a little bit of time, but I am now giving you the how do I do it, so that you have a skill and a tool to use, as opposed to just, running the same pattern, being aware of what you're saying in your brain, but not being able to stop the brain thinking and then the eating that goes with it. All right, everybody, this is episode number 2 of my 6-part series. And the next one I'm going to talk about is trigger foods and how that can lead you astray and off your plan, and then what you can do about it. So see you in the next video, everybody.
And if you would like to have access to some of my additional resources, I can be found at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my website, www.judyterrell.com.